The U.S. global minimum corporate tax proposal, meanwhile, gaining momentum. Germany and France joining the U.S. in support of introducing a minimum corporate tax rate of at least 15%. Now, Britain's Labour Party set to vote in Parliament today in favor of that proposal. Joining me right now is Brexit leader Nigel Farage. Nigel, it's great to have you this morning. Thanks very much for talking with us. I want to talk about Brexit, but first, let me ask you about this vote on a minimum standard for corporate taxes across the world. Do you think it gains momentum and goes through?
No, I don't for 1 minute. The British Labour Party are so far behind in the opinion polls. Socialism in England is pretty much on its back. This is a globalist proposal coming from the Biden administration. And of course, it's supported by the European Union and the British Labour Party. But I promise you, in terms of the United Kingdom, this is going absolutely nowhere. Because the point about Brexit is we voted for Brexit, so we're free to make our own tax rates and make our own laws. And given that Brexit now has 70% support in the country, the Labour Party are completely out of touch in backing Biden's proposal.
You know, that's really great the way you laid that out, because I like to look back during the Obama years at the corporate rate in Ireland, and it was 9%, Nigel, okay? And that's why we saw so many mergers and acquisitions in the U.S. American companies, they were faced with a 35% corporate tax rate. What did they do? They acquired Irish companies, they moved their headquarters to Ireland, and that was that, with a 9% corporate rate, and that's what they paid rather than 35%. But you just mentioned Brexit. Let's talk about it. 2 years ago today, you helped get the British populist vote back into gear with the resignation of Prime Minister Theresa May, then delivered the Brexit deal. Where are you on that? You say that you've got 70% support. How have things changed since then?
Well, I mean, 2 years ago, things looked pretty desperate. Brexit had been 3 years since the vote. Mrs. May was our prime minister. She was betraying the will of the people. Brexit didn't happen, and I was able to lead a populist fight back. We won the European elections by a massive margin, and yes, 2 years ago today, Theresa May resigned, Brexit finally got done, and now 70% of the British people support it. And my message to people in the USA, and I'm touring around the country speaking at the moment, is if you're a conservative in America feeling depressed and down, well, that's how we felt 2 years ago, but we got it back. We got Brexit done. We've given the Socialist Party as well a real hiding. So please, American conservatives, if we can bring it back from the brink, I'm certain that you can too.
So you're currently touring all over the country on your America's Comeback tour. What are you hoping to tell people? How is it resonating? What are you hearing from people?
Yeah, I mean, I'm working with Freedom Works. You know, they're a grassroots conservative organization, and I've been here for now 5 weeks doing this. Look, I think many people, many of the activists, you know, the people that really matter, that do the hard work on the ground, it may not be glamorous, but it's really, really important. They've been feeling a sense of vacuum, a sense of despair and despondency about where everything is, everything from election integrity to many of Biden's proposals. And the message that, look, we were in terrible trouble 2 years ago, but we fought back and won, and that actually, when the Labour Party in Britain and the Democrats in America start supporting cancel culture, start to be a deeply unpatriotic party, they alienate millions of their own voters, and that is the opportunity. That's the real opportunity for Republican candidates in these midterms. And if they get that messaging right, they can come surging back, take the House, take the Senate, and get ready to be back in the White House in 2024. So my message is, we look to be in trouble, we saved the day, and you're going to do the same.
So you think the U.S. gets international support on that thinking, Nigel? Because, you know, a lot of these proposals, like the one we just talked about, this corporate global tax, is not sitting well with the rest of the world. We also have worries about U.S. national security, given the weak posture in foreign policy.
Well, of course. I mean, I don't think the situation in Israel would have happened if Donald Trump was still in the White House. But look, the Democrats are making huge mistakes. They've been dragged to the left. That takes them away from lots and lots of families who've always voted Democrat, who are patriotic. It was the patriotic British people that wanted Brexit and didn't want globalism and socialism with Labour. You've got literally a mirror set of conditions here. So cheer up, everybody, and get fighting.
Let me bring Dagan McDowell in. Go ahead, Dagan.
Nigel, you brought up the issue of Israel, and on the left, you've seen it clearly in Britain and now more so here. But the raging anti-Semitism among people in your Labour Party, in our Democrat Party here, but also the rising number of hate crimes against Jewish individuals here. There was one man who was attacked here in New York City, and the suspect said, "I would do it again." But this hurt. It requires people to stand up and say, we will not tolerate anti-Semitism and crimes against Jews. But that is actually one thing that did hurt the Labour Party, did it not?
Yes, it did. It really did. I mean, even though the total number of Jewish people in the United Kingdom is relatively small, that's not the point. You know, your average British person is fair-minded and decent, and everyone knows that it's only 75 years ago in Europe that the most appalling things were being done to the Jewish people. And I think Jeremy Corbyn taking that party in the pro-Palestinian, anti-Israel, but clearly also anti-Semitic direction. Middle England said, we don't like this kind of extremism, and it did hurt the Labour Party. And I think, you know, there are many instances here in the USA of members of Congress who are supporting these Palestinian demonstrations and, frankly, not condemning things like that attack in New York yesterday in strong enough terms. So once again, you know, there may be 3,000 miles apart that separates us by the pond. The issues are very similar, and the left are taking themselves away from the center ground of their own support base.
Yeah, by the way, Nigel, I didn't hear any condemnation whatsoever from the Biden administration over Hamas's part in the rockets fired at Israel. I just kept hearing, Israel, we want a ceasefire. Netanyahu, we want a ceasefire. No comment to the Palestinian Authority.
No, I'm afraid that the whole of the left, right across the Western world, as they've gone further left, have openly supported a Palestinian cause that behaves, frankly, more like a terrorist organization. And as I say, whilst it makes us all angry to see it, it also, I think, gives us opportunity, because decent people don't like this sort of thing.
All right. I like the way you see the world, opportunistically, glass half full. Nigel Farage, great to catch up with you this morning. Thank you, sir.